What's going on, fam? We back. Here today, a topic that for whatever reason we thought we was going to get away from, but we can't. So we got to talk about this idiot that's the president of the United States. And entering year two, we not getting the promises that he said he was going to give us. Prices are supposed to be lowered. Crime was going to be lowered. You know, we have more jobs and
colored folks wanted a check.
There you go.
Stimulus.
And on top of all of that, now we're in a war. What they call them a forever war. Afghanistan was one. Iraq was one. Fam, the forever wars is we get into it for no apparent reason and it just goes on and on and on and on. So today we're going to talk about the unfortunate position that this goofball has put the United States in yet again. So we're going to hit these current events. B is going to talk about Iran and the war that we're currently in. Carl's going to talk about the continued support that he seems to have from some folks in the black community. And I'm going to round it out with the Epstein files. Because all told, fam, we think that all of this stuff is just a diversion to keep our eyes off the Epstein files. But we're going to dig into that a little deeper. Carl, one of the things that we talked about was the continued support that Trump seems to get from some people in our community. The others we know about, i.e., PWT, trailer park folks and all this other stuff. So are you surprised that he continues to have some level of support from people in the African-American community?
No, I'm not surprised at all because I think that those coons have already sold out ahead of time. And again, they look at this as a game. They're fanboys. You have your favorite teams. People are going to root
teams.
Yeah, because people are going to root for the Lakers. I root for the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan. I'm a root for the Lakers. Whatever happens,
not me.
They just going. I'm a
No
ride
Kobe.
or die with the Lakers.
No.
Or I'm a ride or die with a particular player. I don't care what they do. I'll give an example. Some people are just this week, the time of this taping, there was a record broken in the NBA. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points.
Mm-hmm.
And
surpassed the rapist. Excuse me, Kobe.
So
Kobe Bryant is his
and
name.
he was never convicted of any crime.
Yes.
Alleged rapist. But rest in peace to Kobe.
Because Vanessa might come and sue us.
There you go.
Guilty till proven innocent.
Alleged.
But people went crazy, ride or dying for Kobe. Kobe is not even here. I mean, who cares? It's not a big deal. Let the man have his moment. I'm going to ride or die for my guy. Regard, that's a tainted record. Yeah. It really doesn't matter. So these coons are the ones that's doing that for Trump. I don't care what he does. I don't care how he does it. They're going to ride or die for him. And I'm speaking about, and I can just say a couple of names, and I'm not just talking about his coons he has in office, the Byron Donalds and the Tim Scotts and even the Michigan's own John Jameses of the world.
Oh, God. I just,
he's sick. And you look at them and they just look like the dudes that nobody wanted to play with on the playground. I mean, that's those guys.
You can see it in their eyes.
You do. You just, just
coon eyes.
Just coon. Yeah. I mean,
raccoon at night.
They look like stepping fetches in nice suits. I mean, but you also have the media type, and then I looked at this as certain media types have fallen away from their support of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And I say media type, I'm talking about like the Joe Rogans of the world, the Tucker Carlsons of the world, who really I was just shocked that he's been hammering his administration and even hammering Trump himself on things he said and things that are contradictory to what their goals are supposed to be. And this was a shocker too, the Nick Fuentes, who said next election he could vote Democrat. And it's just like, what?
Plot twist.
Yeah, I mean, these people are really backing away. But you know who isn't backing away?
Who?
Stephen A. Smith, who said
oh boy,
he could run for president as a Democrat. Now, I don't mind people bashing the Democratic Party. That doesn't do anything for me because I don't, I'm not a registered Democrat or anything like that. I look for who's going to help me the most and hurt me the least. Okay, so
Fair.
if you want to, be critical of what the Democratic Party is doing, have at it. But at the same time, you have to be critical of what this idiot is doing. And for you to defend him time after time, to go after his detractors time after time, but you say, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I don't trust either one of them. No, that's a coon position.
Yes. And Stephen A. Smith, we don't trust you. So
And they don't trust you.
yeah.
I say this, I don't trust women who will come up and tell you, I don't have no female friends. I don't really rock with women like that.
Red flag. B, watch out for that. Okay.
What do you mean?
Don't
you
bring me
don't
in
have
that
any
one.
Red
I don't know
female
about that.
friends? What do you mean you can't get? So you're telling me
The
you
girls
can't get
be
along
drama.
with your own?
They be drama, Carl.
So
Everybody is drama.
Apparently.
girls,
Okay.
But I
it be too.
digress.
They catty. It's just too much with it, and I don't
Exactly.
like that. So it's the same thing with these.
I get along better with men.
Black folks. We need. They complain too much. That's your people. How do you?
That's your grandma.
So when I don't trust a woman who doesn't like women, white folks don't trust black folks who don't like black folks.
He hasn't figured that out yet.
They'll play with you.
Stephen A. thinks that he's in the upper echelon. Like
And he's not.
He get invites to them
He
special
doesn't
parties.
even have intelligent conversation. Not even on the sports level. I'm gonna tell you like this here. Not even on sports level. You listen to
because he hollers.
he hollers and he gives bad takes. And he does it
But it
over and
gets
over
views.
again. And it's like, and you get deep. Well, let me tell you like this. I want to say this.
But because he never gets called out by his peers, he continues to do it. Because I can't watch ESPN and see somebody that comes on First Take and just deriding Stephen A. Smith. And I'm like, everything he says. Because I'm going to tell you what, if I was on there and he had something to say about my outfit, I'm going to have to catch him and pull it to the side. Man, why you always talking about people's clothes? See,
Yeah.
that tells me you didn't have nothing coming up. So now you can afford the Tom Ford jackets and this, that, and the third. So you want to talk about everybody else? That screams insecurity. So stop doing it.
Well, I can talk about his hairline. So you talk about
Oh,
you know how
Jesus.
how we came up. It's gonna be in real time. You say something about me, I'm gonna say something about you. He gonna say, we're gonna go to commercial real quick. Yeah, 'cause we're not gonna do that.
That's you.
Come back and you ain't going to be there.
'Cause
You ask him who his barber is.
You slap me, I'm gonna punch you. That's just how that's gonna work.
Let me ask though, when we talk about, the coons that are still out, do you think that it has any type of adverse effect upon those of us that are not coons? Do we look at them people and say, hey, I didn't like you before, but I really don't like you now? Or are we saying, how stupid can you be?
Both. And the bad part is those are people who are, and again, we've talked about this in previous shows, those are our representation because they are out front, because they have a platform, because they have access. They think that they speak for black people.
Yeah.
And if I was to go out and I say to certain people in certain circles that, he's a coon and I can't stand what he does and I don't know what he said, you're going to have people go, white people in particular, what do you mean? Oh, you don't like him? I think he's great. I thought he was. No, I don't like him. Just because you see him, you think that he's saying things that represent the black community. And Trump has used that. Trump has said that over and over. I can't be racist. Look at my black friends.
No, it was look at
And it'd
my,
be the same one.
look at my
Back then.
African American.
My African American.
The blacks. I love the blacks.
He's one of the good ones, and all that, and all those things.
What's the good
And then
one?
you got coons that stand up and say, "Yeah, he paid for this girl college. She black. How could he be racist? How could you got Mike Tyson, Floyd, broke money Mayweather,
No money.
these people." With fourth grade educations
Ooh, Jesus.
who made millions of dollars in his facilities, and they said, well, he's a great guy. Well, what else you gonna say?
Yep.
What else are you gonna say?
Because you grew up with nothing.
You got a bunch of coons with gold teeth in their mouth, and some of them got churches now who come out and say, oh, he's a great guy, because you let him out of jail.
Ooh.
I mean, hey, you get pardoned.
Well,
Tom
yeah,
Brady,
that
you
was
don't speak for
the,
me.
The one that I'm thinking about didn't get a pardon. He got a
It
commutation.
don't matter.
Which
I'm out of
means
jail.
his conviction is still on the record.
I'm
he still
happy
has
to
to
be
pay
out of
restitution.
jail.
He got home
This
though.
man, there you go. I'm
got
home.
home.
This man let me home.
Yeah, I'm not in that
and
cell.
He's a great
He's
guy.
a good guy.
You don't represent Everybody, you represent
Yeah.
you. And if you want to praise the man for letting you out of jail, hey, that's your business. But don't stand up there and say, y'all need to give him a chance. I ain't gave it.
But you know what amazes me too is that in their zest to say that about Trump, at some point they lambast us, because the one that got out, former mayor of the city of Detroit,
Yeah.
Trump commuted his sentence. What's one of the first things he talked about? Barack Obama didn't. And now all of a sudden, you shooting shots
Well,
at
I wonder
Barack.
why
And
would he,
fam,
but-
if y'all ain't figured out, that's how it's called divide and conquer.
But I don't.
And they put people up to this, and you come after your own, when at the end of the day, when Trump leaves office, where these coons gonna be at? Because they can't come run back to us talking about, you know what, I see the error of my ways, a la Candace Owens. But
She's
it's over with.
She's on a money grab. She's on a money grab. And I guess I don't understand. I've had people that I did not like that would do things that benefit me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Yep.
I don't have to like you. Now, in some situations, people felt like their lives were changed. Their lives were saved. So they think they owe him that. You may owe him personally, but for you to stand up and use a platform,
Yes.
that's my issue. I don't care what you do to
He
him
ain't
one-on-one.
Jesus.
Because now you're encouraging others to come into the fold.
And you got other dumb people that they hang on the word of a celebrity. They don't do any research. They don't do any reading. They, what is Jay-Z saying about it? What did who what?
I think Mr. O'Shea Jackson learned from his faux pas.
He's another one.
With
He
his
gonna stand up
promise
there
to Black
and you
America.
doing all this we doing things that have been done since before 1865. The same type of stuff. Well,
History repeats itself.
We got to get in. And look, Frederick Douglass was in the White House. Frederick Douglass had the ear of the president
He didn't do
in
his research.
1860. So don't act like you getting the invitation to the White House. It's a big deal. And this is the same people, and Mr. O'Shea Jackson in particular has a whole song about how Eazy-E got invited to the White House and what a coon he was. See, this stuff is, as they say, it's on wax.
That's under the rug.
It's on wax.
That's under the rug.
And back in the day, I was like, yeah. I never had dinner with the president. That's right. Now here you go. Well, we got to be at the table to make just shut up.
And then remember, Mr. Brodus, Coon Dog, just a few years ago was talking about how other people were coons for supporting
Absolutely.
the president. And what was he doing last time we saw him at presidential inauguration? One of the many balls. I've never seen anybody be the MC and the DJ and the hype man by themselves. Just fools up there with a turntable
And coon
and a
dancing.
microphone and coon dancing. Yeah. that's-
It's just, I think that it hurts us in the fact that we continue to be looked at as a monolith. Again, that's why I'm not into the whole Democrat Republican thing. Black people got to be, particularly conservative black people, I'll say, who say, well, you all, everybody, the Democratic Party takes you for granted, and you just vote Democratic because they're not even addressing your issues or. Okay, we can talk about that. We can talk about
That's fair.
And you know what? I do believe that there needs to be some balance.
So let me ask you then, when
Always.
you talk about black conservatives, do you see that there is a subgroup where not all black conservatives are pro-Trump and pro-Republican? You have some that are, if we can say this, progressive conservatives.
Pro-Republican and pro-Trump are two different things. I don't care about you being Republican. I'm concerned about you endorsing and supporting this guy. That's the issue I have. This guy whose entire presidency, first term and second term, has been established to show people I'm better than the black man. Y'all like this black man? I'm gonna be better than him, and I'm gonna tell you that I'm better than him. I'm gonna destroy everything that he did, and while he's out living his best life, having fun,
Retired, chill.
just chilling,
Producing
flying,
documentaries.
Just have every time you see
Living
him
a good life.
smiling. He
Looks
goes
well
places,
rested.
right? He walks into the building, and
It just
Everybody's
erupts.
joyous.
erupts.
Just
You know,
joyous.
Yeah, but everything, I'm gonna do better than this guy. That's the entire extent of his presidency, and for black people to support that, that's my issue. And you're getting nothing from it.
So you think
Nothing.
that screams insecurity on his part?
Well,
Trump.
yeah, he's a narcissist. I mean, he's an insecure narcissist. His actions even prior to being president show that. You know, he touts himself as this big time multimillionaire. We know that all his businesses have failed. He got into the entertainment business with the whole Apprentice thing. His casinos, even with his boxing promotions with Mayweather and Tyson and other boxers. All of that still has failed. I mean, it's like nothing he's done has screamed success other than he's great at marketing himself. And now that you've gotten, it was a whole marketing campaign, even to run for president back in 2016.
Yeah, the first one. Yep. Because
He didn't expect to win.
Exactly.
And people forget that he did not expect to win and probably really didn't want to. But
He
you
just
know
wanted
what?
to see.
He sleptwalked through the first term, didn't get reelected, but he surrounded himself with people that said, you know what, you did that wrong. We're going to make some money off of this thing. We're going to give you ultimate power. We're going to do, and it was like, hey, I like the sound of that because I'm a narcissist.
Especially when Biden said he was going to run for reelection.
Right.
That's when it ramped up at that point because he was like, "Oh, I got this," because they knew they could hit at all of the quote unquote geriatric comments. And now look, Trump is how old?
He can't even stand up good. He's
His
2 years younger than
His
Biden.
hands. Look at his hands.
He can't stand up. They say he wears diapers and he stinks all the time.
Ooh.
He's got a lot of issues, and everything that he said about Biden. If you saw Biden at Jesse Jackson's funeral, he looked like new money. Hey, how you doing? And he's supposed to have cancer.
Refreshed.
That man looked like
That job take a toll on you.
the job takes a toll on everybody. It's a hard job. If you're doing it,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah,
really
if
doing
you're
it,
doing it the right
physical
way.
toll.
it's a hard job. You're up a lot. You don't sleep right. You're moving
long
from
as he
place to
got
place.
his-
You're flying everywhere. You're doing a
He
lot
eat
of things.
his Big Macs and his Diet Cokes. He good.
And then when people tell you information, if people are coming to you every day with, Mr. President, they were about to kill 6,000 people over here, but we stopped that. And then this one over here, we don't know about, so we're trying to get it. If
You about
you're
to press
getting
this
that type
button
of
and blow up
information
this
every
building.
day,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, now go to dinner and smile to everybody. It's like, it's going.
But
well.
you know, and I don't know if it's still true, but I know in the first administration they said that when he got his daily briefings, they had to bullet point. So they couldn't have it in like paragraph form.
Yeah, he
it was
doesn't
just
read well.
bullet points.
He doesn't
So,
read well.
Okay.
Short
And-
attention span.
And the thing about
President of the
we,
United States.
Probably.
we thought in our lifetime, actually probably within the 21st century, we thought that George Bush Jr. was the dumbest president ever. George Bush Jr. looks like a genius compared to this guy. And the thing about him was he actually had run elections before. He actually had held office before he became president. I gave him more respect, more respect than this. And then he surrounded himself with brilliant people.
Yes. Yes, he did.
This guy surrounded himself with sycophants and greedy, just greedy, evil people.
Fair.
And now we're in a situation where, like you said, we're at war. Other countries don't like us. Our trade is off. And y'all are still sitting around at the mailbox looking
Waiting
for
on
a
that
check.
Wow. So is it fair to say that Trump is the Michael Jordan of bad presidents?
Well, I don't think Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player. So,
Uh-oh. See, y'all
For
about to go
those that
down this
do,
segue again.
so no, he's not the Michael.
Just go.
Wilt
Just
Chamberlain.
put it go. Put it go.
You know, you could say Bill Russell. I would put Bill Russell ahead. I would actually, and this is going to be real controversial because I said this at work and I almost got attacked. I put Magic Johnson ahead of Michael Jordan.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
He's more versatile.
I mean, I think too.
I mean, he would.
I mean, you know, and I'm a homer. Yeah, I am, but it is what it is.
Shout out to Irvin Magic Johnson. We have, you know, like I said before, with the things that are taking place in his presidency, which continue, in my opinion, to be a distraction from the real things, the economy, gas prices, groceries, the whole nine.
Inflation.
And B, now we have entered into this war with Iran, but for whatever reason, the Republicans, the majority in Congress on the Republican side, refuse to call it a war. They call it a conflict.
Crisis.
Okay.
Of sorts.
So help us understand how is it that you see this war coming about and being a distraction from the real topics that we should be discussing, the real problems that Congress should be fixing here in America? Because now what you find is you got a partial government shutdown, TSA workers. Now they ain't even showing up for work because they just missed their first full check. Exactly.
Don't fly right
The
now.
lines at airports are 3, 4, 5 hours long just for TSA. But yet,
you didn't get one.
we have, billions of dollars a day that we're spending on this war in Iran.
Yeah, you got to buy
y'all
missiles.
couldn't open up the government so that these essential workers could get paid.
You got to buy missiles
Okay.
and drones.
You can't put them on layaway?
I don't know. I ain't seen that on Amazon yet.
He say
but
layaway.
that's expensive stuff. Military, that's where we spend all our money when you think about it.
Well,
we got the biggest and baddest military. How much do we dump in that?
I heard a report that we've got $1 million bombs that are fighting $20,000 drones.
Because that's what we do. We spend all our money, essentially, on military. We got the best beefed up military because we spend all the money.
Iranians could be throwing rocks at us and they'd still be
And we
doing the
gonna
same
blow them up.
damage because they don't know.
And we gonna blow them up.
Like we did to school?
Yes, that's exactly how it goes.
And Trump was gleeful about that.
Thank you.
He was gleeful about killing.
He knows. What's his name? Mr. Hegg said they all know.
Don't call him Mr. He's a drunk.
I'm not going to use his whole name. That's why I just said Mr. He got some problems. Well, we not
Just
going
say
to die.
Hegseth. I'm not even giving him Mr. title.
Drunk
That
Uncle
guy.
Pete.
I'll call
But-
drunk
Uncle
Mr.
Pete.
I'll talk about Mr. in the color purple before I talk about this drunk.
But they know for years we've been stockpiling all this money and missiles, drone strikes, the top stealth fighter pilots and planes. We don't even know what they got in these aerospace facilities. That's a big money chunk. So yes, they might throw rocks in a small IED. Yes, we're gonna blow them up with something huge. But that's
So when are we
America.
going to develop an anti drone
The dome?
system drones to shoot down drones? Because that's what's getting us. They
Well,
firing these
remember,
drones
if
off
you
and
remember,
kicking butt.
and when Trump saw about the dome overseas, we're gonna get a dome. So eventually, that's in the budget. I bet.
See, these things.
But back to the rest of the.
This is so
you know,
idiotic.
so we gonna have the dome too. So we gonna be protected.
Help us understand, how did this war start? What is the purpose of the war, in your opinion?
Oh, I'm
Because
gonna say, I
here's the
can't
thing.
give you that,
but
but-
that's just it. Because they've been questioning Trump. They've been questioning Hegseth. Everybody, tell us why. And they pivot.
Yeah,
they
in
instantly
my,
pivot.
Like layman's terms, easy peasy. 1, 2, 3. Is Trump is the schoolyard bully, and Iran is another schoolyard bully, and they've been staring at each other for a long time. And what was it back in the day? Y'all be like, I'm gonna put a pencil on my shoulder, knock it off.
Stick.
So the pencil got knocked off, the bomb got dropped essentially. And now we're here. Now you also have other bullies, Putin, that say, hey, I see this, I want to play. You got Bibi Netanyahu, and you put these four together, so none of them
So
like
don't
each
you
other.
think, though, that Netanyahu kind of pulled the U.S. into that? And I say that, and we talked about this the other night when we were prepping, how Trump's not a politician. And I think he is way out of his wheelhouse.
Yeah,
You're
agreed.
dealing with Netanyahu has been doing this for decades. Putin's been doing this for decades. The Khomeini, before they killed him in Iran, doing this for decades.
Yeah.
Dude, you come in as a part-time
You playing
politician.
you playing checkers with professional chess players.
This is, and I'm
essentially.
going to use B's example because we didn't necessarily have a stick or whatever. We would go shoulder to shoulder. We would stand shoulder to shoulder. And it's like, what's up? What's up?
Yeah,
What's
you
up?
just waiting.
You push that
waiting.
one shoulder, you go around the circle.
Somebody
Thank you.
eventually would push you
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna hit the shoulder, and that's when the fight starts.
Boom.
Netanyahu is the dude
So they was waiting.
that pushes
Threw the
and it's
rock and
like-
hit his hand.
and
then
then
the bombs come
and then
out.
when you get beat up, he's the same one that's gonna be like, "Hey man, it's all right."
Here goes some
gonna get 'em-
intel.
we gonna get 'em
Here's
next
some
time.
intel for you.
Because, but think about it though. Let's use the example that we just recently had here.
Mhm.
Fam, we had a situation here in Michigan
A
where,
terrorist attack.
yes, man of Lebanese descent.
They want to label it a terrorist attack, Carl.
I'm not. They want to label
The
it.
press
a terrorist
wants to
attack. I
label
don't.
it
Yeah.
as a
It
terrorist
was.
attack.
It was a horrific incident.
Right. So what came out of it was Lebanese national here in Dearborn, which, by the way, we all know has the highest concentration of Middle East people outside of the Middle East, had family members. They got killed over in Iran. So packed up his trunk with $2,000 worth of fireworks. I don't know what he's going to do with that. But he had guns.
They said it was surrounded by gasoline.
Okay, yeah. So
They say.
right. So he was
I'm
going to
talking
wait.
about the cockeyed FBI directors people. But
Who? Cash Tail?
right. Which way did he go?
So he crashed into this Jewish center, ended up, getting killed. But we just found out he killed himself. So initially they
They
made it.
say
Well, but
he killed himself.
But here's my thing with that, though. I think it looks bad on him if he did, because they kept coming out saying the security guards did this, that, and the third. But anyway, fam, the point is that it's hit home now. And because of what's going on in Iran, we here in the U, we're being affected by it.
Oh yeah.
Rumor that
Consistent.
Iran got boats now off the in the Pacific that they can launch drones from that's going towards California. I don't know. It hasn't been proven, so it's
Hearsay,
alleged.
but yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. But then think about how many sleeper cells do we have here in the United States? We don't know until they start waking up.
I don't want to know either.
Because y'all thought y'all was fine pre 9/11.
yeah, and I live in
Well, that's why we got the TSA now, but they kind of shut down. But
TSA ain't give a damn about nobody right now because, man, I ain't getting my
but they
check.
not getting paid. But
Now I
the
got to go work at
TSA
Home Depot till the government open back up.
Oh yeah. Well, never mind. We ain't got no TSA. So
I live in a predominantly, a very heavily concentrated Jewish neighborhood, and on my way here,
Shalom to our
and
Jewish
this
friends.
is like I said, it was a bad incident. It could have been horrific because the only person who actually lost their life was the perpetrator. But there was some damage that was done, and as Eugene said, it could have really been
the
something.
fear-mongering
Yeah,
of
had
it,
it had it blown up and so forth. But coming here today, I'm going past synagogues, and I see police posted up at the different synagogues. Waiting for something else to happen or a possible attack to happen.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that that's the way it is. And here's the thing though. How long will it be that way? Because this happened this happened Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
We're recording on Saturday.
it was all temporary optics. Just if you remember too, you paid attention to the news in Dearborn. They've beefed up police presence at several different religious facilities just because of global tensions. So again, once stuff eases up, please go back to the station.
But it's fear mongering, like you said.
Yeah.
It's just
So be with the war though. How do we digest this? I mean, do we look at this as being something that we even need to be a part of, or again, like we started off from the very beginning of the show, is this a distraction from what we really need to be focusing on here in the United States?
I mean, I think a different. Taking it back to just a U.S. citizen, my perspective is we got enough going on residual effects too, coming from that to even focus on, headlines. Because think about it. What's this big, outside of casualties and bombs, what's the big issue? Oil. Oil. How many people you got in our inflated economy looking at gas that's what? $4? So Midwest.
In some
that's
cases,
high.
going
Yeah.
upwards of, I think California is probably 6 or more.
yeah, it's
No, California might be hitting 8.
Yeah, I was like,
10.
California's like 8.
So for us in the Midwest, if we see $4 regular gas, that's a bad sign. I think before the bombs dropped, regular gas was like $317, and it hikes. We looking at $379 right now. In a matter of days, that's a huge.
So
hike.
who's making money off that? These oil companies?
Well, somewhat, but you got to remember,
Man, if oil is over $100 a barrel, then
Yeah, but
them
you
rich
gotta-
Texas oil barons, they getting paid.
technically, but you got to remember, a big portion of that oil comes from our danger zone right now, which means, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, viewers, but the Strait of Hormuz, that's oil avenue. That's
Right.
where all the oil comes from. So when you got global conflict, that's like a traffic jam over there.
Well, ain't nobody want to go through it. But Trump said, we'll escort you through. And then what did he say about the ships? He said, well, they ain't going through. They just need guts.
You want to drive through the Southfield Freeway when it's IEDs on it? They gonna escort you, but you might blow up.
I don't want no escort. I'm just here to do a job.
Yes.
Exactly.
Them people on
So,
those,
yes,
oil,
exactly.
those oil freighters.
Exactly.
I'm
These
not
are just
in no
regular
war.
guys like
I'm
me and
just
you.
A regular
They just
dude
gonna drive
doing
the
a
boat.
job. I don't want to be in no war.
And
But-
Iran has started bombing them too.
Exactly. So you got people like, yeah, we gonna get the escort, but I'm not finna die for this barrel, so I'm not gonna transport it through. And then what happens when oil don't move through there? Our gas goes up. We do have
Yeah, because you're thinking about supply and demand, and then you have the reserves that the United States has started tapping
Yeah.
into.
and we do produce a lot of our own oil, but doing some research, regardless of whether it's here or over there, oil is a global based market. So even though we got reserves over here, we could dip into for probably the duration of this war. As long as it's drama over there, our oil spikes up in costs.
So according to Trump, it's going to be what? A few weeks? So, yeah.
Well, he says that, and then he also said he's going to end it when he feels it in his bones.
So, and continue that. He got what?
That could be arthritis. What the hell are you talking about, man?
I'm just trying to tell you.
But to just keep going.
And the coon said, that's right, that's strength.
It's arthritis.
See, and this is where I get, because the coons, whatever, then he's like, man, it's getting expensive out here. And like, this what you wanted, though. I can't afford no groceries or eggs. The gas too high, but this what you wanted, though.
That's what you voted on.
Because it's Obama. Obama got the gas prices up.
Because it is this.
He was terrible.
And that's what people are, and that's why I feel like people need to focus on the day-to-day residual effects. Because
Been
like
gone for
this
10
oil
years.
stuff is not just your gas prices, it affects everything. Think them boats that still got to travel through the Middle East is exporting goods and services, uptick in groceries.
That's right.
It's cold outside. You using oil, gas, utilities. That's gonna go up.
Even for the gas prices, man, people at the pump making life-changing decisions.
Yes, and not to
Am
be,
I going to get gas or am I going to get my medicine? Am I going to
Yeah.
get gas or am I going to get food?
And I kid you not, I went to get gas this morning. God bless this man's heart. He came in with like, I don't know the math. I can't think, it's still early, but I want to say 22 quarters worth of gas. God bless him. That's all he could do. But you see,
22 quarters?
So 4 divided by...
it just went. But what I'm saying
And they
is,
counted it?
It's $5.50. Got it.
he said $6. So,
Oh, it was 24 quarters.
but what I'm saying is, if we were in better economic conditions,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be seeing stuff like that. Because now what's that? $6
That could have been
gonna-
64 quarters. I mean, I'm just saying.
It could have got him some decent gas. That's about a gallon of gas.
Well, your boy done stopped making pennies now, so I'm going to start bringing in rolls of pennies.
But you see what I'm getting
it's
at.
where we- it's
These-
where we
these-
are.
This is
This
where
is
we
where we
are
are.
right now because of who, not me, but who people voted for.
But unfortunately, what I see is certain things that shouldn't be normal
No.
are now normal. I mean, and I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, blessings to God for giving us, good jobs and, we straight. But for those that were struggling before,
It's way, I can imagine. It's terrible.
and even with, we talk about the war in Iran. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you've heard about the fuel plane that
Yeah.
just crashed.
Yep.
Preliminary reports are suggesting it may have, crashed with another fuel plane. So I say to myself, I know how big these planes are.
Yeah, that's not true.
How the hell did y'all crash? Because one didn't sustain a lot of damage, but the other one just boom. And all 6 crew members died.
I'm going to say this, and
But that's not friendly fire.
That's a oopsie.
Eugene, with you being, our veteran of the group, a lot of these people in the military, and you know this. I mean, I'm not disparaging you because you're my boy, but a lot of these people in the military, one, they not the brightest bulbs.
But these were pilots.
Two,
You got to be kind of smart.
Maybe it was new.
Okay, the pilots, but two, they don't really want to be there doing this. They went. They
Could have
came.
been some reservists.
They came to get their school paid for,
Trying to
to
get that
get a
Challenger.
decent job.
Fam, I didn't tell them about
Good
the school
benefit.
thing, although I did,
I
participate
mean,
in the GI Bill.
But I mean, a lot of people say, and my niece is 12, and she was sitting there yesterday looking at something on YouTube, and the Army thing came up. I was like, "You think I'm going to the Army?"
12?
And she was like, "No," but some people that might be there. But you do it and you say, okay, look cool, and I can do this, and I can serve my country.
But then you get into it and you
it's
realize
like, okay, now we going to war.
it's
Yeah,
just
I'm about to say,
got
you playing
real.
Call of Duty for real.
behind
This ain't no
nothing.
game.
Nobody's coming to attack my home. Nope, I'm not protecting my family and my friends and my well-being.
They
I'm
threatened
being
to.
sent somewhere,
They threatened to.
and nope. How?
But the sad, but you know what the
They can't
saddest
even
part
tell
is?
you why
They
we're
can't.
there.
They can't. You cannot talk to a soldier that can tell you why.
You can't talk to a congressperson. The Democratic Party keeps coming out of these briefings every day saying
We still don't
know why we're there. Even
You
Trump's
probably
people,
asked somebody in Iran.
you
You don't know
you
why
have
he
Trump's
over there.
cabinet that can't explain why we're there.
I told you why. The bully thing. When that
You told us why.
Okay.
And you can read. A lot of these people can't read, and they get all their news from TikTok.
Oh God.
And it's like, well, the reason we there, and no,
And then
tell
they
me
dance
a
at the end of the
reason.
video.
And like you said, if you're a soldier and you're being told to do things,
Got to.
and it's like, and who was that? The general? I can't think of his name, but he was under Obama, and he's actually a Republican. And he said, he's retired now. He said soldiers are not entitled to do anything that is illegal. They can't follow commands that are illegal. So you can't go in and say, kill all these kids. They're not obligated to follow those orders.
It's in the UCMJ.
Yeah, you can't do the
Uniform
Russia.
Code of Military
you
Justice.
can't do the Russia,
But-
the Putin.
But that's not what your boy Drunk Hexeth says. And that's not what your boy Trump says.
Again, that's that whole smorgasbord belief system. Because what does Hexeth say? He says they threatened to kill us, so we are going to actually kill them.
That doesn't work. That's not.
But that's what they did.
Because with them bombing the school,
Yes.
here's my thing, though, for whoever dropped the bomb, whether it was a drone or it was an actual pilot or whatever the case may be, they didn't know it was a school. So that's how they getting around it. This your target. Hit the target.
Yeah, it's a building.
Oh,
It's a structure.
We didn't know it was kids in there, and we didn't know it was a school.
So now I'm a pilot and I got to come home and somebody got to talk softer to me twice a week for the rest of my life because I done killed 125 kids because they told me it was the target. But see, Drunky, he don't care. He gonna go get his fifth, and he gonna be all right. Trump gonna get his diapers changed, and they gonna tell him to go out there and talk to Tyson and the other coons and say it's Happy Boxing Month or whatever,
Happy boxing.
National Boxing Month.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I think, though, that when we look at this historically, we're going to come back and view this as one of the worst presidential runs ever. Because
Ever.
I'm still trying to figure out why this clown is continuing to mess with the 2020 election. Now he's in another state, getting, I believe, Arizona. FBI just seized all their voter records. States that he lost, he's having the FBI devote time, productivity, resources,
Money.
to some stuff that's already happened.
Taxpayer dollars.
And it doesn't even matter. You can't go back and change it.
Can't tell the cockeyed wonder that. He gonna go do it.
Casper Tell is he? Yeah, he's a clown, and yeah, he looks weird. So B, let me ask you again: in your heart of hearts, do you feel like this Iran war has been brought about as a distraction? Because remember, what was it, House of Cards? Frank Underwood started a war. just so he could get reelected and maintain or increase his popularity. Then there was another, there was a movie, I forget. I think
Wag the dog.
there you go. They faked the war. I mean, soundstage, they did the whole thing.
I do love House of Cards,
But you
man,
know,
so.
I have to wonder if a lot of the stuff that we see in these movies and whatnot, if people actually think, hey, that's a good idea. Because we were talking, we look at how dangerous AI can be now. We all remember iRobot. And now they got robots doing everything. So what
I ain't doing
what
that.
makes me believe that one of the robots ain't gonna just go nuts one day?
You have an entertainer in the White House, so
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's do that.
But to answer that, I see where a lot of people go with distraction. I know we're gonna get into the files, but I think it's just the timing.
Why now though? That's
My big. I think because yes, we do have the files getting unredacted and coming out at the same time, but these tensions we've had in the Middle East have been lingering.
Okay.
So I just think it's just the timing just lined up perfectly where the files is like, hey, what was you doing with that minor?
Well,
I'm not gonna say age. You're not supposed to say that on YouTube, but
not supposed to say what?
the age?
No. You get
Wait a
striked.
minute.
But you're not supposed to mess with the younger person. And then you got tensions from the Middle East building. And then that guy H got his threat.
Oh.
And once the threat came, that was the final, okay,
rewind.
we can press the button.
In my opinion, you might be giving them too much credit. Because I think though that, you know, stuff, of course, it's always, the tensions have always been out there. But no one's ever come close to it because we've had folks as presidents that were diplomatic, that knew, you know, foreign policy. This is how I deal with this country,
People
but I
know
can't deal
not
with
to
this
touch
country
the
that
Middle
way.
East that way.
Well, and you
does
have
not.
relationships. And Carl, to your point, don't nobody like us.
No.
So that's why Iran is like, you know, because my thing is, even go back to last year, we supposedly knocked out all of their nuclear weapon capabilities. What happened with that?
What that we know of. Come on now.
See?
Come on now.
And
I'm not even sure we know.
I was gonna say I don't even believe that.
We knocked out what we know
They
of.
did. He did
You
something.
think they got zero stuff left?
No, because now what you have is Russia telling them on the back, hey, man, let me tell you where the real stuff is. These the targets, Iran. These the
Exactly.
targets y'all need to strike.
Therefore, that was BS.
And then here's the thing, though. Between Putin and crazy man in China, they don't care. They know the U.S. is not going to come after them. You
No,
can
we
do
can't.
sanctions
Yeah.
all you want to.
We
and
can't
now,
touch those two,
because
unfortunately.
of, you know, the increase in the prices of oil and the shortage, the U.S. is talking about unsanctioning Russia and some of the sanctions that they've imposed upon them as far as oil goes. So you throw all these sanctions on them, now you want to take some off.
Yeah, now they just.
Right. So Putin is sitting back saying, I told y'all this guy's a goofball.
That's why I say they chess players. We have a checkers player.
I don't
playing
even
the
know
game.
if Trump know how to play checkers.
We're not even checkers play. You've got a bunch of.
You see the scale of what I'm
You've
getting
got
at,
some.
though.
You've got some.
Chess takes
drunk
intuition.
Coke heads that are advising
A baby can play checkers.
a dementia patient.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, but you know what? You can also trick the baby. You can teach the baby a rule and then say, well, you know what? On Thursdays you can move 3 spaces.
Exactly.
And,
That's why I said
and the
these are-
baby gonna say, "Oh, okay," because they don't know no.
So these are people that are managing the president. That's essentially what it is.
because he don't have a clue.
I think, you know, the elephant in the room, in my opinion, that has continued to surface and resurface these Epstein files.
Yep.
Now, prior to Trump becoming president, what did he say? I become president, I'm releasing all the Epstein files.
Because he didn't know he was in.
Then Epstein files get released.
He had to.
Yeah.
He
well,
knows
here's the
those
thing,
was
though.
gonna come out.
He
He
figured
didn't know.
that I got control. I ain't gonna worry about it. But once they got released, hold on. First of all, you know, they had to threaten him, you know, before he released him. Okay, he did that.
At the start.
So on and so forth. So now what you have is, since they've been released, you have to look at how all of this stuff in the Epstein files is being redacted. Trump's name has appeared in the Epstein files, I think, over 38,000 times. His name is mentioned third behind Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
For those that can't count, that's a big number.
Yeah, because you're looking at
I gotta help people.
millions
But
millions upon millions of files.
the funny comparison that I have is Trump's name is in the Epstein files more than Jesus' name is in the Bible. It's like, come on, dude.
And we talk about Jesus.
Hey, yeah. So
the chosen one.
and that's probably the first time you gonna ever hear their names in the same sentence.
Yeah.
You know, and what I've come to find out now though is, of course, they had to brief him before they released him.
Oh yeah, you got.
And
to.
I'm not saying had to. They had to because they knew.
Look, this
Yes.
make America look bad.
And then I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if his people went through them like, nah, we ain't gonna, nah. Because
Of course.
what they've discovered is 50,000 files are missing because now the full files supposedly been released. And now you've got all of these redactions and so on and so forth. But in addition to the redactions, you're looking at 50,000 files are missing. You know how they know that? Because each file has a serial number. So as you're looking through and you go from 203 to 405, wait a minute,
Oh.
that's the next page.
A big chunk of my book.
So I
missing.
say to myself, how stupid can you be? You're going to take stuff out and not develop anything to cover it up? Now, I don't know if it's just,
Well, you can because like
I don't know if
encrypted
it's
stuff,
stupidity or if they just have the audacity to say, hey, we ain't worried about it. And now you have all these, files that have been taken out by the DOJ, the redactions. And I have to wonder with the redactions, they made it sound like the victims didn't want the names of the victims published. And I don't even know if that's true because I've seen some victims like, hey, put it out there. I mean, I got that money on that Epstein settlement. So yeah, I put it out there. And I have to wonder if they even asked them though.
Because if I'm a victim, like you said, if I'm a victim and I'm standing there, the ones with my name, yeah, I'm right here. So put my name in there and then put who was there with me. Go ahead.
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well. Because like you said, I got my money.
I wouldn't care.
But people want somebody to be held accountable.
Yeah, they want to be vindicated. Yeah.
The thing about it is, for me, they're not. Everybody's still trying to escape accountability, or even justify. You can't even get some people to say that pedophilia is bad. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing to have sex with minors.
Thank you. Don't get a stroke.
It's a bad thing to abuse minors.
And you know what? Because they had a lot of congressmen that were able to view the unredacted files. Okay, couldn't take your phone in there, this, that, and the third. The Department of Justice, were actually, because it was a computer, they were actually spying on the congressmen that went in there and looking up the Google searches that they were doing while they were in there viewing the files. Because you had to have an appointment, you had so much time, or whatever the case may be. Senator Jamie Raskin out of New York, he came out and he said he saw in there, Trump had always said that, he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because he was a creep. Yet,
what do you mean?
Raskin saw an email in there where Trump had told someone back in 2009 that Epstein had come to Mar-a-Lago as a guest, but he was never kicked out because they were good friends.
Yeah.
But you came out, and Carl, to
buddies.
your point about dementia, I guess Trump forgot about that.
No, I don't think he forgot about that.
Yeah, I
think he
saw the
remembered
documentary. It was cool.
I'm saying in terms of him coming out talking about he was a creep, I kicked him out and all this other
He
stuff.
spoke highly.
Because that's tough
I
talk.
don't think he forgot about it. I think that's some of the stuff he remembered.
Oh,
He don't know what he did yesterday, but he remembered what he did in 2009.
not yesterday though.
They had this one in there because they were talking about the interviews that they had. Because, the FBI has said that for all the things that Trump was mentioned about as doing, because, there were some victims, I just said Trump abused them. FBI said, nah, they're not credible, which means they didn't even follow up on investigations. However, there was one that they did follow up on. Young lady said that she was a minor around 1983. Epstein introduced her to Trump. They were in a private setting. Trump tried to, or made her forced her to perform a certain
Service.
right.
I got you.
She in turn said she accidentally bit.
The service. I got you.
And he in turn punched her in the head, told her to get out. So
This is why we just need Chris Hansen to go through
so
the files.
and here it is. It gets gooder
We fix it.
because when they interviewed her 4 times, but only one of the interviews is in the Epstein files. So they don't mention the other 3 times that they interviewed. Why did the FBI interview her 3 times? Mind you, she got something from the Epstein settlement, which to me, that validates the fact that something happened to her.
I think that when you're talking about all the victims that have been interviewed and the victims that have come forward, it puts me in the mind of Bill Cosby.
Jesus.
So, I mean, you start
That came
hearing
from left
rumors. You would hear rumors about Cosby, and you would hear this.
Yeah, you're
and
like,
that,
nah.
and then we go back to the time he would say certain things like, "Oh, you put the Spanish fly in the girl's drink, and she do,"
Oh,
and
that's
it's
a funny joke, Mr.
right,
Cosby.
and you're thinking
He
about
said,
all
wait a
of
minute.
this, and then it comes back, and then when it starts bearing out, you're like, "Hey, so."
Did you really do that?
You start seeing it. He did that to me too. He did that to me too. He did that to me too. I mean, it's like all these people come out. Now, we did find a couple that quote unquote weren't credible,
Yes.
who kind of just jumped on the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
They're trying to get a
happens,
check.
But the
unfortunately.
rest of them. So my thing is, if you've got all these women who say, "Yeah, I was there with Trump. I was there with Trump. I was there with," even if you find 1 or 2 that are not credible,
But you got 67
what about all these
more.
other ones?
Yeah, you got 67
so
more.
you can't just
They did.
dismiss everybody's
and that's
credibility.
just it. I would love to find out what was the basis for them to say, that's not credible. Because, like I said, they interviewed the young lady 4 times. The other 3 accounts, when Ghislaine Maxwell was going through her trial, and, discovery is where the prosecution, they just give each other information. Prosecutors say, we got this, hey, this is how we're going to prove our case, and the defense is showing so on and so forth. Well, they found in the discovery notes referencing the other 3 interviews that the FBI had with Trump. But again, not in the Epstein files. So you have to wonder, I look at this where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not just, saying I know what happened. Of course I don't. But I just think that, again, all of this is just building up to be a distraction from us finding out, which we have a right to because we are U.S. citizens and our tax dollars go toward funding all of this crap.
We should be able to FOIA request the files.
Exactly.
Unredacted, because that's our
you
right.
You try for you and tell me what happened.
So
we'll
I
be
might
here
get
sitting
arrested.
here 3 weeks from now.
You won't see me.
B's not here. We don't know when he coming back.
But this is my question. How long can you just? Are you looking to distract me for this for the next 2 years,
Yes.
5 years, until
Yes.
he dies?
Yes.
I mean, okay, but I know that this country, and it's all by design, that we have a short attention span. But I just can't think that you're gonna start doing all this, and particularly for an unpopular war. We don't know what we're doing,
The majority of Americans are against it.
and unfortunately, we're gonna have U.S. service people that are gonna lose their lives.
I think the count
Ongoing,
is
yeah.
17 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Pending,
That count, and
pending,
that count will increase.
In
Yes.
2 weeks, 17. Okay.
And I do believe that there will be some attacks on U.S. soil.
We just had an incident.
We just had an incident, and I think that that's not going. So as those things become increasingly more frequent, people are going to me, common sense people are going to say, you know what? Let's get this guy in jail and get him out of here. Open up the file. If that's what's going to put him in jail, if we can't get him in jail on war crimes, let's get him in jail on the Epstein files.
Chris Hansen can do it. That's my solution.
They keeping Chris Hansen away too, because
He
he would have him at the table with some
his
wine
iPad.
coolers.
He gonna have an iPad now. I'm telling you,
What are you gonna do with
What
that?
you gonna do?
Wine coolers and
I'm
condoms?
telling you that's my solution for the Epstein files. We need to call Chris Hansen, and I'll take care of it. That's what I'm gonna stand on.
But you know what's crazy is that Carl talking about things that we finally get to find out. You know, they do stuff like they couldn't open up all the stuff on Nixon till after he was dead so many years. Same thing with and I'm saying to myself,
Yeah.
why? Well, I mean, what are we gonna do with the information other than say, I knew it?
Just gonna gasp.
Yeah.
And life gonna go on.
I think it's
Like if you wait a certain amount of time that
They
we're
did
not
what
gonna
in
digest it
Watergate?
and be like, oh, okay.
it's the other names. Okay, and bring
Well,
it
the
to
alive ones.
bring
yeah.
it to a local thing too. And you know, if you didn't see the movie, was it White Boy about
White
White
Boy
Boy
Rick.
Rick? So go watch the movie. There's a documentary that's actually called White Boy Rick that's actually better. So he's sentenced to 18 years old, sentenced to life in prison. They keep him in jail over drug trafficking charges. After he would find out he's working with the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
We believe now, we can look at it, he knew a lot about the inner workings of the local government here. And
Big
I think
time.
they kept him in jail until all those people died. And then it was like, okay, he can come out now because he can say anything he wants to. They dead. We can't be prosecuted.
Yeah, he got
And
the
so-
skeletons in the closet.
So it's almost, to me, that's what it's like with the Kennedy files, with the Nixon files. It's not just those people. It's the people that surround, the people that actually killed Kennedy, that were in government, that were complicit. The people that actually worked for Nixon, that did all the illegal stuff, that were in government. And I think that's the same thing with Trump. It's so many people that surround him that are still living that, and probably, you know, not even in elderly age like he is, that
yeah,
are,
they like 40s.
yeah. I mean, you know, these perverts, they like little girls. And again, these are people who couldn't get 14-year-olds when they were 14.
So are they gonna do that for R. Kelly and the people that were surrounding him?
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Well, nobody, you know.
It's like a hierarchy of things you want to find. I don't know, you know.
Robert's case is a little different.
Yeah, that's maybe.
Robert's case is a little different. I mean,
That's low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
Joe.
you know, yeah.
Simple PD investigation to get that.
Yeah. So fam, I mean, you know, we can't stay away from this. And we hope that, you know, as we talk about things, you guys are able to, you know, do a little research. You can't just believe everything we telling you, although the majority of things we come are factually based, I would say. You know, a lot of opinion, but we throw some facts in there too, because we don't want y'all out here calling us out.
Coons are opinions, but I think it's fact.
There you go. So we talk about,
Jive turkey.
you know, what we think may be diversions that the president is using, whether it's the war in Iran, whether it's this foolishness with ICE, you know, whether it's the Epstein files. What we do find is a lot of his people that are around him. They like to pivot. They like to distract. You know, there are a lot of diversions, I think. You know, but ultimately you have to think about the fact that people voted him in. And, you know, we got 2.5 more years to go. It is prayerfully we can get through it safely. But, you know, we want you guys to continue watching the podcast, liking the episode, sharing the episodes, throwing comments out there, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as always, we like to say, stay prayerful, stay positive, stay peaceful, stay patient. See you guys next time.